All of a sudden, I was driving with my buddy, and we were just sitting in the car, and I was like, damn, it's already been 6 months since we graduated. I'm sitting here like, damn, what the fuck happened to all the time I had? I remember in June, the goal I had set for myself is to have 150 subscribers by the time summer was over. Now that we're officially in winter, I barely have over 100, thanks to my last video. And I've kind of been having a panic attack and scaring myself and thinking, shit, is this just how things are now? You know, like I set a goal and a date and reasonable action plans to hit it, and I completely miss anyways. I'm just waking up and finally starting to perfect a routine, but in doing that, I realized, where did the last 6 months of my life go? In my whole life, I've always heard the phrase, time flies when you're having fun. But what happens to time when you're not? In June, I graduated high school and totaled my car. In July, I hopped on a plane and went to Japan for most of the month. In August, I worked. In September, I worked. In October, I worked. And I'm just here like, damn, that's where the last quarter of the year went. Just working my 9 to 5. And on the bright side, at least I got a promotion. No, but seriously, now that I'm an adult who isn't going to college, it just kind of feels like this is it. I spent 12 years of my life in the tutorial, in school, preparing for this. Waiting for promotions and birthdays, which altogether are kind of meaningless. And if I knew this was the case when I was 5 years old, I would have just said, fuck school, let's go get a 401k and start applying on LinkedIn ASAP. But all jokes aside, I do have a serious flaw about me as a human being. I'm always stressed and I always feel like I'm multiple steps behind. I don't know why. Things could be going perfectly, I could be killing it, and I would always be worried that I'm not doing enough, that I'm not getting enough done. And it just kind of reminded me of the video I made last spring talking about how I want to be retired by the age of 30. And honestly, I still think I can make that happen, which sounds crazy, but I'll be honest. I like my job a lot, they pay me a good amount of money, and I know that if I take these next few years, I can set myself up for the long haul. So why am I stressed? I'll be honest. I'm worried about making videos. Out of all the things I've pursued in my life, making videos and sharing an idea and story has always been my favorite. And I'm worried about how it will play a role in my future going forwards. I love making videos so much that I'm hoping one day it will just be what I do. And I am aware of reality and how much work I need to put into this project before that's the case. I guess chasing a passion project or just chasing improvement in my life, I've tried to adopt the mindset of not focusing where I want to be and comparing myself to that end goal, but just, if I'm gonna comparing to where I was and how far I've come. Like, I know this sounds weird, but I hope that I look back in a year from now watching this exact video and say to myself, bro, that sucks. Just because that I will have made that much growth from where I am now to then. And it's kind of something that gives me pride because I could give a damn about comparing myself to someone else, but I will always care about comparing myself to where I was and just trying to make little improvements. Not with the intent to be perfect, but with the intent to be better. And ever since I got out of that original depression I was in years ago that sparked me to start a TikTok, that's been the mindset that I'm in. The intent to get better, even though perfection is never something that I'm able to reach. Unfortunately, when you're trying to make growth, things are rarely ever straightforward and super hard to understand in the present. So what's the takeaway from all of this? Chase whatever crazy ideas and projects that you have, but don't ditch reality. At the end of the day, almost nobody gets something completely right the first time, and then they get frustrated and then they quit. So yeah, maybe the odds are not in our favor today in particular, but that is why tomorrow exists.